Hi, I'm Helga Blue. Thanks for joining me for today's video decorating this 2-story A-frame that I built last week. Let's get started with the kitchen by placing all the upgrades around the hearth. It's pretty standard stuff. For the pantry, I really don't like the walls, so I'm creating a double wall to show the smooth part facing inside. To do this, use a wooden door at the end and attach the inner wall to it. Then complete the structure. Now with a nice clean finish, we can incorporate the shelves. Next, let's add a sink. Hold down the Shift key and place a 1x1 floor piece slightly above the ground. Position a forge nearby to allow placement of the forge cooler on top of this new floor piece. Close in the space and now you have a sink. You can add storage underneath and use wood shutters as cupboard doors. Time to decorate. Using the bogwitch tray, place veggies and other items for a homely feel. A cloudberry near the sink makes a great sponge. This free placement is so good now, instead of having to use item stands for everything. I'm also adding a fruit box with 1 metre wood beams, and I'll fill it with berries. Now for the crafting room. Since space is tight, I'm placing most upgrades under the floor, which requires careful manoeuvring. To close this area in, ensure the crafting table is near the floor's edge and not near the back wall. I'll explain why in a moment. Once the upgrades are placed, close up the floor. I'm positioning the adds outside though, where the wood stack and smelters will go later. For the workroom bench tops, again hold the Shift key to place a floor piece just above the workbench. If done correctly, the workbench remains functional. For the forge, lower the floor even further. Test usability and then close it in. Don't forget the finishing touches along the edges. Now for a special edition, a freeform corner sofa. It's a bit tricky, but worth it. Start by laying beams along the floor, then use the Shift key to place another set directly on top. Once the first one lines up correctly, the rest will snap into place. A quick note on seating. The arrows indicate your character's sitting direction. The one exception to this rule is the sitting log, which works in reverse. No idea why, but keep this in mind when we're placing the stools in a little bit. To shape the sofa, add 1x1 floor pieces along the beam join. For proper stool placement, stand back, aim your mouse at the floor, and then slide it back so that the stool tucks neatly underneath. Ensure that it fits into the centre and just behind the floor piece. Ensure your character's legs don't clip into the sofa when you test it. Then you can add backrests for height and add an extra set for depth and cushioning. You can adjust the placement by holding the Shift key. Now add another set of beams at the bottom to fill in the gaps. The beams will protrude slightly over the edge, but don't worry, it actually enhances the look. For a comfier feel, slide a hair rug underneath the stools. Make sure it doesn't cover the top or you won't be able to sit. Add 1 metre beams as armrests. Then you can put 1x1 floor pieces as side tables. Place a 1 metre beam underneath using the Shift key for support. Freehand beams along the front will close it in nicely. Then you can add an extra beam recessed into the back wall for another armrest. A couple of rugs and a coffee table made from a stool, item stand and a banded shield as a tabletop will finish off the look. As an experiment, I'm testing old trophies as cushions. They actually look great. You'll need to remove the right hand armrest to place the last trophy and then replace the beam. Old trophies are rare, however, but they can add a fantastic touch if you can get them. Frame 2 tower shields as a wall art, and then the lounge is done. Now for storage. Fit it neatly into a cupboard at the bottom of the stairs. Each 2x2 floor holds 2 reinforced chests, so this space will accommodate 4, and then you can stack them using 1x1 floors. Remove any protruding floor pieces and the chests will stay in place. 3 stacks high should be perfect. Close it off with wood gates and wall pieces for a neat and tidy finish. Upstairs, it's time for the double bed I promised you. Find the room centre using the window peak as a guide. Place a 1 metre beam at the exact centre, then 1 on each side for a total width of 3 metres. To make the headboard, use darkwood arches. Set the bed base height using a floor piece at the top of the chest. Align the edge of it to the centre of the darkwood decoration centre. Repeat on the other side, ensuring that it also fits to the centre of the decorative piece. Fill in the base and it should be 3 by 3 metres. Then you can add legs and adjust the chest to resemble underbed drawers if you like. Frame the base with beams. Position the bed so that the headboard is close to but not clipping into the wall, and align the edges at the centre of the base. You can add a lox rug on top for an even cosier look. As long as the bed sides are visible, they'll still remain functional. For bedside tables, use 3 walls and a shutter as a front. Top it off with a floor piece and add an edge beam. Quick and simple. A dressing table follows. Arrange 1 by 1 floors to size. Add a chair and frame a crystal wall with beams for a mirror. Adding a few decorations and an armour stand will complete the room. Back downstairs, let's maximise the space under the stairs with storage. A keg stand and a serving area. Choose a dining setup and we're good to go. The entryway feels a little bland, so I'm going to add some shelves. You can double wall them like we did with the pantry, or leave them as is. Instead of the standard shelves, I think I'd like to stack stools, which will give us a wicker effect. But remember, these don't snap together, so they require careful placement. Then you can decorate the area with trophies, and wow, this entrance looks fantastic. Now to the outdoor space. A patio, barbecue and hot tub area are must-haves. Build a floor to your desired size, then place the hot tub. For the barbecue, use circling trophies on item stands for flames. Sailor's Bounty makes a perfect grill top. Close in the bottom with cage walls for visibility, and replace the top with cage floors for a better effect. Now that's a barbecue. Add drink shelves near the hot tub and it's looking great. What do you think? One of my subscribers requested a smelting and furnace workshop, so I'm extending the side of the house. Placing 2 extra roof sections should be enough. On the floor, dig a small pit for the ingots. Then position the smelter over it. I like to align the kiln's coal input with the smelters for convenience. Finish the floor. Add support beams. And open the roof above the smelter if the fire keeps going out. Gardens are my favourite. I use the Plant Everything mod for variety and biome-free planting. Natural lighting enhances the garden. A neat trick I learned from Sarah 4 and 10 is to rotate thistle 2 ticks in place to form a glowing circle. It looks amazing, don't you agree? A cute way to edge your gardens is to use flint. It's easy and cheap to use and looks great. Every Viking needs a well, so let's build one. Using 1x1 walls, rotate them 2 ticks per placement to form a circle. Add 4-metre core wood poles for the frame and connect them with 45-degree roof ridges. To get a water effect, place a crypt key on an item stand and cover it with a round blue jute carpet. You can hide any overlap with decorations. A forge cooler makes a great bucket. Add 3 1-metre beams across the centre so that they poke out on one side. Attach item stands to this end and place a club and a bronze buckler for a turning wheel. To decorate the base, place 1-metre wood beams facing outward around the edges like so. Now, using the free place holding the shift key, add 2-metre beams to join each of these together. Nothing will snap in place here. Every single beam will need to be free placed. Do the same thing all the way around. Then add some garden touches and the result is stunning. After adding a few personal touches inside with trophies, armour and weapons, the house is complete. Let me know in the comments if you learnt something new or have any ideas for future videos. You can support this channel by liking the video, subscribing if you haven't done already, and sharing it with your friends. If you want to go the extra mile, consider becoming a Patreon or channel member, which will give you access to my build blueprints, like these wonderful people have done. Every contribution helps me get new equipment and improve my content. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy building!